I am outside the federal courthouse here in Buncombe County, where U.S. Attorney for the Western District Andrew Murray just gave a press conference in regards to the actions of Buncombe County Sheriff Quentin Miller. Sheriff Miller just released an ICE detainee who was charged with raping an 11-year-old child. District Attorney Andrew Murray and he and Buncombe County District Attorney Todd Williams both say they have concerns for the 11-year-old's safety, and ICE agents are currently out looking for Torres right now. I have to tell you that this is a must-see press conference. United States District Attorney Andrew Murray steps up to the podium today and has some harsh words for Buncombe County Sheriff Quentin Miller in his releasing of an ICE detainee that was charged with raping an 11-year-old child. Here are the highlights of the press conference.
Yesterday in Buncombe County Superior Court, Marvin Orlando Torres was convicted of taking indecent liberties with a minor, which is a felony offense in North Carolina. In this case, the minor was an 11-year-old child. In addition to being convicted as a child predator, Torres is also in the country illegally. As a result of the state conviction, he was sentenced to 16 to 29 months in prison. However, he received credit for the time he had been in custody awaiting trial. As a result, he was eligible for immediate release from state custody. ICE had previously filed a detainer on Torres with the Buncombe County Sheriff's Office, as the sheriff has acknowledged in a press release issued by his office today. Yesterday, the Buncombe County DA, Todd Williams, called me shortly after the verdict to see if the U.S. Attorney's Office could assist in preventing Torres' release to the community, where he could possibly prey upon other children. DA Williams was also concerned for the victim in this case, the victim that's going back to the community where she was just traumatized in a case that was extremely difficult, where she can be traumatized over and over by seeing a predator, her predator, on the streets again. After my telephone conversation with DA Williams, I contacted Sheriff Miller to request his assistance with keeping this convicted child predator in custody until ICE agents could take him into their custody. The sheriff's response to me was, and I quote, "Unless they come with a criminal warrant signed by a judge, we're not going to do it." I specifically asked the sheriff if, knowing that this is a convicted child predator, he was prepared to release this felon back into the community. To which he responded that his policy is known and has not changed. Subsequently, Torres was released without coordination or notification to ICE. Currently, ICE agents are out in the community actively looking for Torres. Let us pray he is located soon and without incident during this Halloween season.
I'm curious if I could just get your thoughts on, there seems to be two different positions here. The Sheriff's Office is of the position that you need a criminal warrant and an ICE detainer is not a valid warrant. ICE says that they operate under civil law, they can't obtain a criminal warrant. Do you see that as a problem when it comes to exact situations like this, or are you of a different opinion on this?
I appreciate you highlighting, first of all, that the sheriff put out a publication or a notice this morning, and he talked about how we, the U.S. Attorney's Office, needed to get criminal charges against it. There are no criminal charges against Mr. Torres for federal criminal charges. State criminal charges, which he faced, but he has not been in the country before and been deported, so it's only civil in nature. And so that is the mechanism that ICE has, the detainer, in order to, for 48 hours, put him on hold, in order to verify he is the person they think he is, he's now a convicted felon, and to go through their proceedings, which would most likely result in deportation. So the sheriff is incorrect when he says we could have charged and we could have brought criminal offenses for somebody that has not re-entered the country. sir.
Chad Nesbitt, Skyline News. What would you say to the family of the victim here in this case? And is there any security for that victim since this person is now loose and ICE is looking for him?
I can't speak to safety, security, having been DA, other than if the family is concerned and scared. I think they talk to the DA's office and local law enforcement to help protect. But I say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry as the top federal law enforcement agency in this district that I can't help her. And I can't help this community from somebody that's a known child predator. That is really something that bothers me.
A follow-up question. Do you think that the Sheriff Miller is putting his political agenda ahead of the safety of the people?
I can't talk about his politics, but I can tell you that whatever he's doing for whatever reason, it's certainly endangering the lives of the community.